welcome viewers. You're watching Republic TV and this is Across the Republic with me, Rakta Mishra. And our top focus is going to be the big verdict from the Supreme Court, the big judgment in the Muslim women maintenance case. Alimony is the right of every woman, irrespective of her religion. That's what the Supreme Court has said today. We will get you the details on that, and not just that, viewers, we'll also get you the latest that has happened in the Hathras tragedy. While the Baba is on the run, the lens is right now on his aides. We'll get you more ground inputs, but first up are the headlines at 6 p.m.
We need to raise our voice. We need a uniform civil code. We need UCC to come in for such cases wherein the Nikah-nama, which is the only marriage contract in all religions that is being followed.
Big win for Muslim women as Supreme Court makes a historic judgment, says alimony is a right, not charity. Muslim women are entitled to seek alimony after divorce. Big development in the Karnataka Valmiki scam being probed by the BED and the CBI. Former Karnataka Minister Nagendra's aide Harish arrested by the ED in the multi-crore scam. It's a big lead in the Hathras Stampede tragedy. Republic gets you the exclusive inputs. The victim who was duped by Baba's aides into signing over his land speaks to Republic TV. Jammu and Kashmir police ramp up the anti-terror operations due to rising insurgencies. Anti-tunneling operations being conducted near the international border in the Samwa district. And fresh instance of violence reported in Bengal amid the by-polls. And now a video of a minor boy being stripped naked and thrashed to death goes viral. Mamata Banerjee is silent. A divorced Muslim woman can seek alimony from her husband under Section 125 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. That's the landmark verdict, the judgment by the Supreme Court today. The top court bench has held Muslim women's right to maintenance after divorce. The Supreme Court also held, very importantly, that the Muslim Women Act 1986, passed by the Rajiv Gandhi government in response to its Shah Bano judgment of 1985, will not prevail over secular law. Here's a report.
Supreme Court's landmark verdict to grant alimony rights marks a major victory for Muslim women after the ban on triple talaq. A two-judge bench of Justice B.V. Nagaratna and Justice Augustine George Massey dismissed a plea filed by a Muslim man against a direction to pay alimony to his divorced wife. Dismissing the petition, the Apex Court ruled that the Section 125 of the Code of Criminal Procedure would now be applicable to all married women regardless of their faith. In a far-reaching verdict, the Supreme Court observed that the right of alimony transcends religious boundaries. The top court noted that it also ensures financial security of all married women. Senior Supreme Court advocate Gopal Jain spoke to Republic following the landmark verdict by the Supreme Court.
This is a landmark judgment of the court because the fundamental tenet of our constitution is premised on equality, and this is one other facet of equality, that all women, including Muslim women, will now also be entitled to get maintenance under Section 125 of the CRPC. Second, as somebody rightly mentioned, we are in a regime where the UCC is round the corner. So the right direction, the court has given the right direction and sent a strong message that Muslim women can also seek alimony, and this places all women at par. So the principle of parity and equality, which are fundamental features of the Constitution, have been given real meaning by virtue of this verdict of the Supreme Court.
The ruling BJP has termed the judgment as righting a grave injustice committed by the Congress government.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के निर्णय का तो सभी को स्वागत करना चाहिए, जो एक ऐतिहासिक गलती राजीव गांधी और कांग्रेस की सरकार ने वोट बैंक और तुष्टीकरण के चलते की थी, जहां पर उन्होंने महिला सशक्तिकरण का गला घोट दिया था कट्टरपंथियों के सामने। आज उस निर्णय को हटा दिया गया है एक प्रकार से, परंतु देखिए कांग्रेस पार्टी के लक्षण आज भी नहीं बदले। आज भी वो यूसीसी का विरोध करती है, आज भी वो 3 तलाक के कानून का विरोध करती है, आज भी महिला सशक्तिकरण के लिए कोई भी कदम उठाया जाए तो वो विरोध करती है। वोट बैंक की राजनीति के चलते कट्टरपंथियों के सामने नतमस्तक होने की जो प्रथा है कांग्रेस पार्टी की, राजीव गांधी से राहुल गांधी तक, ये लगातार चली आ रही है।
So indeed it is historic, and Supreme Court today has upheld the 2019 law under which Muslim women can also seek further recourse and remedy, because it brings relief to Muslim women in a larger degree.
NCW chairperson Rekha Sharma also hailed the historic Supreme Court ruling, calling it a significant step towards gender justice and equality. Shalini Ali, the national convener of the Muslim Rashtriya Manch, also welcomed the verdict and emphasized the need for uniform civil code.
What kind of ramifications should we expect after this 124 CRPC law that will now in fact be implemented?
First and foremost, what is important is the country that you're living in. You are a national of that country. So even in the Quran it has been mentioned कि जिस धरती पे आप रहते हैं, जिस जगह में आप रहते हैं, उसका कानून को फॉलो करना आपका आधा ईमान होता है. So I would like to request all the Muslims, as a matter of fact all the nationals of this country, that they have to follow the law of the land. And if the law of the land says that this has to be done, then it has to be done. So yes, landmark judgment, it was made during Shah Banu, then it was down in the deep sleep also. Today the slumberness has gone away, the awareness has come about, and that's exactly that we need. We need more Maulanas, we need more Qazis to come out in the open, tell them to literate women, children, men of their religion, and they should know the Quran the way it has been written rather than said by many fanatical people in our country.
The historic Apex Court judgment marks a major milestone for Muslim women in their quest for equality and justice.
And now it's been a massive revelation that has come to the fore. The Enforcement Directorate in Bengaluru has conducted raids at the residence of former Karnataka Minister and Congress leader B. Nagendra in connection with the multi-crore tribal corporation scam today. In fact, the team of the ED officials also raided the room of Congress MLA Daddal and the Valmiki Development Corporation case. In the corporation's office was also raided in Vasant Nagar. Now, this is the same corporation from where the funds were diverted to the Benami accounts. As per reports, a close aide of Nagendra, who has been identified as Harish, was held by the ED in this scam. Here's a report to know the latest.
Republic has uncovered scathing revelations in connection to the multi-crore Valmiki scam that has rocked the state of Karnataka. A team of ED officials raided Congress MLA Daddal and also arrested Harish, who is the aide of former Karnataka Minister B. Nagendra. The ED raids were conducted in wake of irregularities reported at the Valmiki Tribes Development Corporation. The congressman has been alleged of irregularities in the scam. Funds up to 87 crores were allegedly embezzled. The left hand of Congress leader B. Nagendra, Harish, who is now in ED custody, was confronted by our team, where PA of B. Nagendra can be seen evading the tough questions. Meanwhile, the CBI has also intensified its probe into the matter, turning up the heat on the Union Bank of India, whose employee has also been accused in the scam. The BJP, meanwhile, has sharpened its attack on the Congress government in Karnataka.
Has been allotted arbitrarily for the influential people under this tenure of Siddaramaiah ji, saying that such a big scam has taken place in Muda, Mysore Development Authority. Even after the report has been submitted by District Commissioner, the allotment of sites has continued till today.
Most important aspect of this entire issue is whether it is legal or illegal. With regard to this case, the Muda alternative sites, what is been given to CM family or anybody, many more people, it is completely illegal. So this entire issue, irrespective of government, this needs to be investigated, a thorough investigation. That's the reason we are demanding, since the CM family is involved, CBI is the right investigation, let the truth come out. Why is he trying to take shelter? He was an opposition leader.
The probing agencies are turning up the heat to get to the bottom of the multi-crore scam in Karnataka. And only time will tell how many more big heads will roll.
And you can clearly go ahead and look at it that the Enforcement Directorate has now gone ahead and made the first arrest in this particular case. The arrested person is now being identified as Harish, who is said to be a very close aide of the former minister Nagendra. And it is being learnt that Harish had gone ahead and received 25 lakh rupees from a person named Satyanarayan Verma in Hyderabad in the second week of April and had handed over this particular cash to the former MD of the Valmiki Development Corporation, Padmanabha, as well. And this finds a mention in the remand copy which has been accessed exclusively by Republic. The Enforcement Directorate has now cast a net to go ahead and nab Pampana, who's absconding at this point of time. And depending on the statements which is given by Harish over here at the Enforcement Directorate's office, in all likelihood, Nagendra will be taken into custody.
Now, the investigation into the Hathras stampede tragedy that killed 121 innocent people has taken a fresh turn. Republic's ground investigation has revealed that the Bhole Baba's aides had approached a man identified as Sanjay Yadav to acquire the land where the satsang was held. Now, these aides, identified as Sanju and Naresh Yadav, have intimidated Sanjay and forced him to sign bank papers to acquire the land where 121 people were killed in a stampede a week ago. Take a look at this report.
It's been a week since the deadly Hathras stampede, which resulted in over 121 people being killed. And now, the probe in the Hathras stampede tragedy has taken a murky turn. Republic's exclusive ground report from the site has brought some controversial and dramatic details to the light. Our reporter on the ground spoke to Santosh Yadav, who has alleged that associates of Bhole Baba had intimidated him and gotten his signatures on blank papers.
सर वो हमारे पास आए थे कि
कौन आया था आपके पास?
संजू और नरेश
ये बाबा के मतलब सेवादार थे?
सेवादार थे। तो उन्होंने कहा था कि हमको सत्संग करना है।
कब आए थे आपके पास?
ऐसे आए थे 15 जुलाई के करीब, जून के 15 जून। तो बोले
घर में आए?
हाँ, मेरे को फ़ोन पे बुलाया था अपने घर पे ही उन्होंने। अच्छा। तो वहाँ कई 8-10 लोग थे, मैं तो पहचानता नहीं था। तो उन्होंने कहा था हमें सत्संग करना है। तो मैं सत्संग के नाम पे मैं क्यों मना कर दूँ, मैं क्यों पाप ला दूँ? नहीं, मैंने कि मैं दे दूँगा, ले लो। मेरे पट्टे की ज़मीन है, मेरे पे खुद की ज़मीन तो
पट्टे यानी किराए की ज़मीन आपने कहा?
मेरे पे किराए की ज़मीन है, मैं हर साल किराए पे लेता हूँ ज़मीन को, खेती करता हूँ वहाँ। तो बोले कि ठीक है, तो हम वहाँ सत्संग कर लेंगे। तो कोई बात नहीं, मैंने दे दिया। तो बोले कि ऐसा करो, एक कागज़ था, कोरा कागज़ था, इस पर साइन कर दो, इसलिए जी हमें ये पक्का हो जाएगा कि तुम हमें ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं करोगे।
Republic earlier spoke to Hathras Lok Sabha MP Anup Pradhan Balmiki, who stated that action would be taken on everyone who is involved in the incident.
इसमें आज ही माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के दिशा निर्देशन के अनुसार एसआईटी की 2 सदस्यीय टीम गठित की गई थी, जिसमें हमारे अलीगढ़ की कमिश्नर और एडीजी जॉन दोनों को संयुक्त रूप से जांच दी गई थी। और जांच रिपोर्ट जैसे ही आई है, उसमें लगभग 6 अधिकारियों को निलंबित किया गया है। और माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने हमारे रिटायर्ड जज, हमारे रिटायर्ड बोर्ड ऑफ रेवेन्यू के चेयरमैन थे, 3 सदस्य एक टीम और भी गठित की है, जो वो भी अपनी संयुक्त रूप से जांच करके इसकी जांच रिपोर्ट जब सबमिट करेंगे, मैं समझता हूं कुछ पहलू अगर छूट गए होंगे तो उन पे भी विस्तृत जांच करके जो भी इन 3 सदस्यीय कमेटी की रिपोर्ट आएगी, मैं समझता हूं जरूर शासन उस पर प्रभावी कार्रवाई करेगा।
The SIT probing the Hathras stampede submitted their report to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Tuesday, following which 6 government officials were suspended. The sub-divisional magistrate who failed to inspect the site also failed to inform his seniors was one of the 6 officials removed from active duty. However, today's revelations have confirmed that associates of the self-styled Bhole Baba had committed various illegal acts to organize the satsang where the stampede broke out.
It is important to note that taking the name of Santosh Yadav and his signatures that were taken on the blank paper, these Sevadars and also the Sevadar Association of the Baba, Narayan Sakar Hari, and whose real name is Suraj Pal Jatav, got large chunks of land, and in that there were several rules that were flouted. Did this holy man, or did this Baba, who actually is known as Narayan Sakar Hari among his devotees, not knew about the kind of fraud which is happening? Big fish in this case is also going to be brought to book as per the law. With Vijay Yashpal Saini ji, this is Piyush Ore reporting for Republic TV.
Now, viewers, amid the rising number of terrorist encounter operations and insurgency in Jammu, the police in Jammu and Kashmir have ramped up the anti-terror operations in the region. A special operations group is also conducting an anti-tunneling operation near the international border in Samba. In fact, Republic has also managed to access the exclusive information regarding the arms and ammunition that were used by the Jaish terrorists to carry out the Kathua attack. In this, viewers, Pakistan's role in this attack is very, very clear. Take a look at this report.
Security forces are ramping up anti-terror operations across Jammu and Kashmir. This comes after multiple encounter operations broke out in the last 4 days across the region. First in Kathua, where 5 Jawans were martyred and 6 were injured in an encounter with Pakistan-based terrorists linked to Jaish-e-Mohammed group. Another encounter broke out in Doda district yesterday, where 2 out of 3 trapped Jaish terrorists were injured by our Jawans. Owing to the rise in recent infiltration attempts from Pak-based terrorists, Jammu and Kashmir police have launched a massive anti-tunneling operation near the international border in Samba. Meanwhile, Republic accessed details of the arms and ammunition used by the Pakistani terrorists in the Kathua attack. Jaish terrorists reportedly used steel-piercing bullets to attack our brave Jawans. US-made M4 rifles and AK-47 rifles were used by the Jaish terrorists in the Kathua terror attack.
Security forces have recovered the rounds of the bullets that have been used by the Pakistani terrorists to target the Indian Army vehicle in the Machedi area on July 8. The forces have recovered the rounds of 5.56 mm rounds of the bullets that were used in the M4 carbine, the US-made assault rifle, and also 7.62 mm of the steel core bullets that have been used in the AK series rifles. This shows that how Pakistan is pushing the sophisticated weapons along with the steel core bullets into the Indian territory, so that the Pakistani terrorists who have managed to sneak inside the Indian territory can target the security forces. The steel core bullets are able to pierce through the bulletproof jackets of the Indian Army Jawans and the security forces, and this has been used very frequently by the Pakistani side in all the recent terror attacks and operations that have taken place in the Jammu region.
The Jammu and Kashmir Police's Special Operations Group is carrying out searches in Samba and is also conducting anti-tunneling operations along the international border to prevent future infiltrations.
The regular inputs which suggested that the terrorists might be using some tunnel to sneak into the Indian territory, as BSF says that there has not been any infiltration from the international border, at least from the international border fence, and after which there have been apprehensions by the central agencies also that a tunnel is being used by the Pakistani terrorists to sneak into the Indian territory, as they have been coming in the large numbers and carrying out major terror strikes. The recent one in the Kathua's Machedi, where 5 brave hearts of the Indian Army attained martyrdom in an attack that was targeted at the vehicle of Indian Army, wherein the terrorists from the Jaish-e-Mohammed, they strike using the M4 carbine, the US-made rifle, and also the steel core bullets, along with the grenades which they lobbed on the Indian Army vehicle so that they can inflict maximum casualties.
Joint forces along with the Jammu and Kashmir police have ramped up anti-terror operations as a fresh wave of insurgency from Pakistan has caused alarm along parts of Jammu ahead of the assembly polls scheduled for later this year.
As far as the Kathua incident is concerned, now the security forces have launched a massive anti-tunneling drive. This has been launched in the area opposite to the Shakargarh of the Samba district. This is the Pakistan's notorious area that has always been felicitating the infiltration of the terrorists and also the infiltration and the smuggling of the narcotics and weapons into the Indian territory. The Special Operations Group of the Samba Police has launched a massive anti-tunneling drive along the international border.
And the state of law and order in West Bengal has once again come into question. Now, videos of lynching, violence and assault are going viral day in and day out on social media. And now, amidst the ongoing bypolls, more incidents of violence are being reported. Citizens are alarmed and they're desperate for a solution. There is no word, no action from the Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, yet. Take a listen into this report.
From widespread violence amid the bypolls to a child being beaten up mercilessly by TMC strongmen in Bengal's Aridhaha, citizens of the state are desperate for a way out from Mamata's Gundaraj. Polling for the bypolls in 4 assembly seats in West Bengal, which have ended. A day before the polling, a wave of violence erupted in the state yet again. A minor was beaten up mercilessly by TMC strongmen in the Aryada locality in Kamarahati municipality in the North 24 Parganas. This incident follows an earlier video of a Muslim woman being stripped, beaten and paraded on the streets in Cooch Behar district. Another terrifying clip showed a couple being publicly flogged in Uttar Dinajpur over an alleged illicit affair. These incidents of Taliban-style torture have not only shaken up the country's conscience, but also put the spotlight on the complete collapse of law and order in West Bengal.
In this edition of Across the Republic, viewers, but live and breaking will continue on the other side of this very short break. Stay tuned to Republic TV, don't go anywhere.